It's showtime, folks.
What up?
In the words of Sting. Hold on, we got our guy. Art, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, beautiful. All right,
Welcome.
All right, everybody. Welcome to When Tunes Combine. This is the start of the Cartoon Classic Tournament. Of course, I am Dutchy, joined by Money E, and we actually have a special guest with us today.
I don't know how special.
Yeah, well, you're special to me, Arch.
Thank you.
And it's our number one fan, Liz.
Yeah, and our number one fan in the chat room. But yeah, we have Archie Mitchell joining us, a Facebook friend of mine.
Yes, sir.
And
actually, he works with you.
No, he's in a couple of the wrestling figure groups that I'm in. Yeah, I actually bought one of my Hasbros from him.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
But
I
love the show. Well, thank you. I love the show. I've listened to it many times. Doug has always told me when you guys are doing, big events and tournaments and such, and you guys do a great job. So I thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Archer. We're happy to have you. We are going to try to get this done before 8 o'clock because Saturday night's main event is on. How pumped is Winter Rose to see Cody Rhodes defend?
Oh, definitely. We wanted to go to it, but it being in Long Island, it was like an hour and a half ride, and it being the holidays, that means it would have been a 3-hour drive. And I just, I told her we'll have to wait until SummerSlam when they come to Meadowlands Stadium, Giant Stadium, and see him at a bigger event.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Eric, his guest. Yeah, Eric's Eric Archie's granddaughter is the biggest Cody Rhodes fan.
Huge.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
bigger than me and Daniel.
Well, I mean, she's the youngest anyway. But he'll post videos of her all the time. She'll do the entrance. She'll do the whoa, and it's adorable.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, we have people on Facebook, Gore, that make fun of it.
Well, see, the reason Matthew Gore can get away with it is Matthew Gore and I have known each other about 8 or 9 years, and we actually went to WrestleMania 35 together. Jeez. So yeah, it's been a long friendship, and so we bother each other back and forth. And he'll, he's like, "How can you let your granddaughter be into wrestling?" I'm like, "Because I don't have a grandson yet." You know what I mean? So
yeah, yeah. So, and I actually did share this in the Primetime Toys Facebook group. So I don't know if Gore's going to listen to this or not.
He probably will.
Yeah. Especially if he finds out that you're on. All right, so
yeah,
this is something different that we're doing. We're going to do this for a few weeks because I've kind of taken a little bit of a break from writing the cartoon crossovers. But this is called the Cartoon Classic. Now, for anybody that watches wrestling, probably figures, and you are correct, that I kind of ripped this off from AEW. So. Basically,
I'm a big AEW fan, so
yeah. So we did different leagues. Eric and I selected them last week. Tonight we are doing the Blue League, and in this Blue League is Sonic the Hedgehog, which is the Sonic SATAM show. So this is the second one, the one with the cool theme song. So it's not Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, but this is the one they called Sonic Saturday AM. Also, we have in here, we have the Simpsons because they do wear blue clothes. So I let Eric get away with that. Captain Planet and the Planeteers because apparently there's a blue sky. So again, this was the lead that Eric selected.
Captain Planet was blue with green hair. So that's it.
See?
I thought he was.
Yeah, he had blue.
My eyesight must be going.
He was blue with green hair, and he wore a red suit or red details on his suit.
Oh yeah, all right. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm the perfect host for this show. And then the fourth cartoon in the Blue League here Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Obviously the Smurfs couldn't get double booked tonight, so the Ninja Turtles had to come in. Yeah, love you too, Mark. All right, so real quick, here's basically the Liz. It baffles me too, but I mean, you've known Eric longer than I have, so you try to explain them. All right, but here's basically the rule. So there's 5 categories we're judging here. It's the theme song, the animation quality, the characters, and you can also do character development, the storylines of the episodes, and the humor and entertainment value. And we rate. We are basically going on a scale from 1 to 10. And if and then at the end we add up the scores. The cartoon with the highest score moves on to the next round, wins this league, and then moves on to the final 10. And then we battle it out from there. And you can give more than one cartoon the same score in a category.
Okay.
So any questions before we move on?
So it's 1 through 10, and then we can obviously have the same score for each, and then we give a total score.
Yeah, at the end, after all 5 categories are done, I'll give everybody's total score, and then the cartoon with the highest score wins.
Okay, and we add all 3 of ours together, or 4, whoever wins.
I've got everything written down here. Yes, everything will be added at the end.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, good. Arch, you got it?
Yep, all good.
All right, cool. All right, so the first, and I apologize, I can't play any of the theme songs because we will get a copyright strike.
Yeah.
But we're going to start with theme song as the first category. And we'll start with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's probably one of the more iconic theme songs of the 4.
Yep.
Now, if you watch any of the episodes, because they do have a YouTube channel, if you watch any of the old episodes on YouTube, they updated it.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's an updated version of the theme song. It's still same lyrics and all of that, but the beat's a little different.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Because that's where I watched the complete first season today.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so theme song. Arch, you're the guest here. I'm gonna start with you on this. What did you think of Ninja Turtles theme song? And then go ahead and give it your score.
I've always liked it. I find that when I do hear it once, it gets stuck in my head for a day, and I end up singing it, or I don't know, I'll just burst out and go turtle power, So it's definitely one of those songs that you can listen to and bop your head to and whatnot. I've always liked it since the first time I watched it, and I've always been a big Ninja Turtles fan. I have the first comic book of theirs in my collection, put away, and so yeah, I think they're a very iconic theme song.
Okay. What's the score you would give?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably have to give them a solid 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Eric, we'll go with you next. I'll go last.
I love the theme song. It's iconic. Whenever you hear it, it's Ninja Turtles. So I give it a 10 too.
All right. So you're also going to give it a 10. So this, what's funny? Ninja Turtles is one of my favorite cartoons. And I love the show. I grew up as a Ninja Turtle fan.
Yep.
But I don't want to sound biased here. the theme song is iconic, but I do think there are some now of the four here. I do not, or the three that it's going up against. I don't think that any of these theme songs beat the Ninja Turtles. So I am going to give it a 10. But like it is not like my favorite theme song, but it is iconic enough to where, like Archie said, if you do hear it, it does get stuck in your head. In my case, it gets stuck for a week. I'll be singing it at work.
Yeah.
Right.
There's another one on this list that gets stuck in your head too.
Definitely. There is, yeah. But this one is the one you'll just be sitting there and you'll Michelangelo is cool. You know, you just start singing the words for no reason. It just comes out of left field.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah. How you doing, Kenny? Glad to have everybody that's in the chat room joining us.
Wow.
So we'll ask the chat room. We'll ask the chat room too. Scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate the Ninja Turtles theme song? And while we wait for them to answer, we all gave it a 10. So that's a good start for the Ninja Turtles.
definitely.
I would have been shocked if you didn't give it a 10, Doug.
Yeah. Kenny West gives the Ninja Turtle theme song a 7.
Okay.
But Mark McGee gives it a 6. Liz gives it a 10.
Neo says it's a solid 10, iconic as hell, catchy as heck. Yep, he's right.
Well, she's the one of the three whose opinion I value the most. But just kidding, guys. I value your opinions as well.
There's only one song above the theme song for the cartoon, and that's the Vanilla Ice from Part 2. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. That
oh my God, I love that.
You know, so.
I love that. Well, first of all, that movie is actually one of my favorite movies. It's in my top 5.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. All right, so we all give it a 10. I'm not rating everybody in the chat room scores as well because, you know, one, I'll run out of room on my sheet of paper, and two, like, just in case we don't get this many people next week, it'll be kind of hard because when we get to the top 10, it'll be a single elimination tournament style, and the first 2 cartoons will actually get the top 2 cartoons will actually get a bye into later rounds.
Okay.
Fair enough.
The 2 that have the highest score. So if we have 6 judges here and then we only have Eric and I next week.
Yeah, I understand.
So, yeah, trying to even it out. All right, so the next cartoon theme song, Sonic the Hedgehog or Sonic Saturday AM. It's also a catchy theme song. But Arch, I'm going to start with you again. What are your thoughts on it? And rate it scale 1 to 10.
I mean, it's good, but I wouldn't say. Look, the theme from the video game is much better, in my opinion. Yep. You know what I mean? If we're going, you know, but I mean, it's apples and oranges. One's a video game, one's a cartoon. But I give the Sonic cartoon a solid 7. You obviously know it's Sonic the Hedgehog when it comes on, so it's recognizable, and it does the job, but not over Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm gonna go next on this one because mine's just gonna be very quick. Yeah. Obviously, this is the this theme song is actually obviously better than the first theme song because the first theme song was just kind of generic.
Right.
Yeah. The one I originally watched.
Yeah. That being said, it's like Archie said, it's not as iconic as Ninja Turtles. So I'm actually going to give it a 6.
Okay, fair score.
All right, Eric, you're up.
I actually give it a 7.5 because I thought, as you said, it was better than the original one. which I originally, if that was the one we were watching,
Yeah.
I would have gave it a 6 myself. But
Right.
I give this one a 7.5.
Okay. Just so you know, Eric, halves are fine, but don't do like 7.3, 7.8
Oh
or
no,
something
I
like
didn't.
that because that's a lot more math. 7.5 is fine.
Yeah, that's all I did. The 7.5 or solid 10.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. But
Yep.
like the 7.7s and the 7, like that's a lot more math to do.
Yeah, I figured that you didn't want to do all that math, especially live.
Yeah. Uh Not when we gave ourselves a time frame of what time we have to go off the air.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. Mark, Liz, Kenny in the chat room. Go ahead and give your thoughts, if you like, on the scale of 1 to 10 Sonic's theme song. If you're still in the chat room. All right. So we'll go. All right. Kenny gives it a 6. All right. So next. Oh, Liz said she's giving that a 10 as well. She's very biased.
Very
Well, she's a
biased,
video
yeah.
game girl, so
Yeah, she's a big Sonic fan.
yeah. I'm pretty sure she's hoping Sonic wins this thing. All right. So next up for theme songs is the Simpsons. Arch, we're gonna start with you again because I feel like it's a trend that's working.
Well, I have to say, I am a very big Simpsons fan since day one, and it is by far my favorite cartoon since it started to now. I still watch it. Winter is a very big fan of it as well. There's not a night that don't go by we don't watch it on Disney Plus. I would give the Simpsons theme song a 10 again because the minute you hear the opening words, it's just like you get enthralled waiting for the episode, whatever episode it's going to be. So,
Mark McGee gave the Sonic theme song a 2.
a what? What do
A
you give
2.
it?
2.
A 2. Damn.
Not an 8.
Yeah.
What's the A for?
Either he was joking when he said 2, or he's already given his opinion of the Simpsons theme song.
Right.
Can I go next for the Simpsons?
Yeah, go ahead.
Simpsons are one of my favorites, so I give it a 10 because it's iconic, just like Ninja Turtles. When you hear that, you think of Homer, you think of Bart, you think of Marge. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So with me, and I do agree that it is that it is like an iconic theme song, and everybody and Kenny West has already given this. He's already jumped the gun and given it a 10.
because he's a big Simpsons fan.
Yeah. Kenny West, I don't know if he's a big Family Guy fan. I don't know how big he is on The Simpsons. But as far as what I would rate it, because again, this is one of those theme songs to where it's different. You don't really have to have words.
Right.
It's just the music, but the music is still catchy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Yeah. So this is probably going to become very difficult, at the end. But I'm gonna give it a 10 myself.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, Winter and I watch it constantly, and it's a song I don't get tired of. I kind of wish that there's some episodes where they just go straight from the end. There's no intro; it just starts, and I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Because I was looking forward to the song.
Exactly.
So I hate that when they do that sometimes. Like in later seasons of shows, when it's just like, oh, they don't even bother playing the intro. It's just like, come on.
Right. It's a cartoon. Let us hear the intro.
Yeah. All right. So we gave all 10s on that one. Mark gave it, I believe, an 8. Kenny gave it a 10. Liz, what do you give the Simpsons theme song? I bet you there's a paragraph coming. Because she, God bless her, and I'm not knocking her, because I know better. She is very detailed in her answer. The Simpsons CD. All right. Yeah. So Liz gave it an 8.
An
All
8.
right.
Okay.
All right. So all right. So the next theme song, Captain Planet theme song, Arch. What do you give?
This is one that goes back to my childhood. I can remember watching Captain Planet, and obviously I know a lot of the words to it. You know what I mean? And his big intro of "When your powers combined, I become Captain Planet." So it is a good one. But I mean, if I mean, obviously you have a bunch that are going to come up later on in other episodes. I wouldn't say it's crucial. It's not one that you have to hear or because obviously it hasn't been on forever. I give it a solid 8. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's up there, but it's not a big one.
Right. Eric, you want to go next?
Yeah, this wasn't. I give it a 7.5, but I think I'm being a little nice there. It wasn't catchy for me.
Okay, so what's funny here is that like the intro to the song is or the intro to the cartoon is him introducing the the Planeteers and all that and
Right.
what they do. But the song that they play in the outro, I think that's what a lot of people consider as like the theme song.
Right.
Okay.
And it is very catchy. Now, is it something? Is it like up there as? You're right there, Arch.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I coughed.
I was gonna say, did Winter Rose hit you, telling you to hurry up? So
No, I'm sorry about that. I coughed into the mic.
I mean, I wouldn't blame her. My brother's probably going to be up here closer to 8:00 telling me to hurry up because we're all looking forward to this thing tonight.
Oh yeah.
But as far as my score for this, I'm gonna give it. I'm just gonna give it a 7 because to me it's not up there as like greatest theme songs. To me, it might be like top 20. But I was a big fan of the show when I was a kid.
Yeah. The show was good.
Yeah, the show is good.
Yeah. So, all right. Now, Kenny West gave it a 9.5. And let's see, Mark, Liz, what do you guys rate the Captain Planet theme song?
I think Mark gave it a 20.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's a huge Captain Planet fan. I know that for a fact because he's a long time high school buddy of mine.
Okay.
So we used to talk about that all the time. We've actually watched a couple of. We were reminiscent a couple of times, and we actually we're like, oh, we're going back to our childhood, and we watched a couple of episodes.
Right.
So, Liz, and yes, Liz, if you write a paragraph, I will read it. It might not. Oh, she gave it a 5.
It's mostly just talking and not really as catchy. She's kind of right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she is, and I will not argue with her. Even though I did file for divorce, I still will not argue with her.
Wow. I didn't see that one coming.
No, no, it's a running joke between.
I know, I understood that.
Yeah, it's a running joke between our because we all Eric and I and this girl Liz, we all used to work together.
Okay.
And Liz and I used to bicker like an old married couple.
Okay, makes sense.
And I was in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So yeah, poor Eric.
I still work with her. She does.
But all right, so that is the first category. 10s across the board for theme song for TMNT and for the Simpsons. Sonic Saturday AM gets a 7, a 6, and a 7.5. Captain Planet for theme song gets an 8, a 7.5, and a 7. The next category is interesting. It's animation quality. And all these cartoons kind of came out at the same time. I mean, only one of them still exists.
Yep.
But animation quality on a scale of 1 to 10, Archie, and give your thoughts on it. What do you give the animation quality of TMNT?
For its time, it was fantastic. Actually, it was very well drawn, or put together, and it was sophisticated. For like I said, for its time period, what was it like? Early '90s, 93, 94.
Yeah.
The only
It first came out in 87.
87, right? Okay, so you see, I forgot how old I was. Uh, for its time, it definitely was above anything else that was out there. And then as time went on, when we got to like Spider-Man's cartoon and the X-Men, it was still right up there. You know what I mean? There was nothing surpassing that animation. So I'd honestly give Ninja Turtles a solid 10.
Yep.
Okay. Eric, I'll let you go next.
I'm right there with him. For its time, 1987, it was very good quality. I give it a solid 10 too.
All right. I'm gonna, at 10s across the board again, because I agree with that, because it's, again, for its time, for late 80s, early 90s. I enjoyed I like all 80s and 90s cartoons anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm giving that a 10.
I'm gonna make a prediction.
Huh?
I think it's gonna come down to Ninja Turtles and Simpsons.
I agree.
You might be right. So we'll jump in. Or Kenny or Mark gave it a 7. Kenny gives it a 10. Liz, go ahead and type your paragraph. While you do, while you do, Archie, jump right in, and she gave it a 6.
Wow, she's a tough judge.
Yeah, she's a tough cookie.
As far as Sonic goes for animation, Sonic with animation, it wasn't what it, again, from the video game to the actual cartoon. Maybe I'm biased because I love the video game and I'd still play it to this day if I had a Sega or an emulator. But the cartoon it wasn't as crisp as it could have been for the time frame that it came out. It could have been so much better. So I'd maybe give the cartoon on animation wise a 6.
Okay. Eric?
I'll give it an 8.5. I thought it was good quality for its time.
Okay. So I'm to be honest with you, as far as like animation quality goes, I feel like the animation quality of this, and again, I'm a big fan of the video game too.
Yeah.
But I actually think that the original cartoon, the one that came out in 92, the one with the more generic theme song, I actually like the animation quality of that one better.
I agree.
So
okay.
I'm going to give this, and Liz is going to shoot me. I'm pretty sure, but I'm giving this a 5.
Oh, wow.
Understandable.
See, I actually like the one that this original one I watched. I didn't like as much as the one I was supposed to watch.
Yeah, but
which is fun.
I'm waiting for that next comment to come in. Not too long. We're gonna jump right into the Simpsons, and Arch, go ahead and give your.
Well, I mean, from when the Simpsons debuted to now, it's night and day. You know what I mean? It was like crude pen and paper drawing to now. Oh my god! But I've always loved the Simpsons animation, and I have to say that I would give it a solid 9. You know what I mean? Again, when you got what it's going up against nowadays, like American Dad and Family Guy, and a bunch of other cartoons that are still coming out. Fox brings out a new cartoon once a year. The Simpsons are great, and they do a great job, but there are other animation studios going above and beyond. So I gotta give them a 9.
Okay, Eric, go ahead.
We got to get rhythm going. So. It's still going today, and I give it a solid 10.
Okay. I'm gonna agree with Archie, and I'm gonna give it a 9. But like if again, like he said, like this started in 1989, and it has kind of evolved, obviously with the times. Obviously, like Archie said, because Fox comes out with a new cartoon. Not all of them are successful.
No, not at all.
But like so the animation quality obviously with each show gets better. But yeah, I'll give it a solid 9. So Kenny gives it an 8. Mark gives it a 6. We'll wait on Liz to give her score. While Liz is giving her score, Archie jumped right into Captain Planet in the animation.
See, the thing with Captain Planet was it was almost one step away from being a real TV show. That's how actually great it was drawn for the time period again that it came out. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like they were the explosions, the things that were going on, everything with that. Even when the kids were just hanging out, it was really well done. So for its time frame, I have to give Captain Planet a 10 because they were doing things that probably no other cartoon was doing. It was going against Scooby Doo and Flintstones and things that were still, were long time running shows, but weren't evolving with the times.
Right.
Meanwhile, here's Captain Planet doing things that we've never seen before. So,
Right. All right. So you're giving it a 10?
Yep.
All right. Eric?
I give it a 7.5. I thought the quality was decent. So
okay. So I'm gonna give it a 9 because I do agree with everything Archie just said. And it was like again when you're running it up against because it started from Deke Animation Studios.
Yep.
And then obviously it was purchased by Hanna-Barbera, which ended up in the Turner Library.
Yep.
So obviously, they were going to spend a lot of money, for their shows. And yeah, it was. I always thought the animation was pretty cool. Watched a few episodes, obviously today, so I'm giving it a 9. Liz gave it a 5. Mark gives it an 8. We'll see what Kenny gives it. If he gives it a score. But all right, so now here's going to be one of the more interesting categories. The characters, and you can also talk about the character development if you would like to. Starting obviously with TMNT, and we're starting with Archie.
TMNT, when it came to the characters, obviously you had everybody you knew from the movies and the comic books, Splinter, Shredder. I have to say, from the movie to the cartoon, Shredder was spot on. You know what I mean? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Very good development with him. I liked the foot soldiers more in the cartoon and with the toy line than I did with the movie. You know what I mean? Because they looked generic in the movie. They were wearing all black outfits. Where in the cartoon they were in purple and gray and and of course the turtles were exactly what you wanted them to be. They were in all their glory and their colors. So in all honesty, I'd say that as far as characters go, I'd give them a solid 9.5.
Okay. I think I'm gonna goof up the rhythm a little bit here, Eric, and I'm gonna go next.
that's fine.
As far as characters and character development, the only character I cannot stand in this cartoon is the cameraman Vernon.
Yeah, it made no sense.
And like everything else, like in the later like cartoons and in the later movies, the Michael Bay stuff that came out,
Mm-hmm.
I do not like Leonardo because I think he's way too full of himself.
Right.
In the original cartoon, I didn't mind him, and I felt like that they, all the characters had fully developed and they all had like served a purpose. Even some of the side characters that would come in and do like a few episodes here and there. like the few side villains. So
Right.
I'm gonna give the characters a. I don't want to sound biased here, but it's probably gonna come out that way. I'm giving them a 10.
Perfectly understandable. Perfectly
Eric?
understandable.
Thanks, Arch. Eric, you're up.
I love the characters, especially Michelangelo. So I give it a 9.
Okay. All right. So next up, all right, and Mark gives the characters a 5. Kenny gives them an 8. We'll see what Liz gives the characters for TMNT. But Sonic Saturday AM, Arch, you're up first.
Not really much in the way of character development. It was pretty much the same. You know what I mean? Everybody stayed the same. And they were good though. You had Sonic. They were trying to introduce Tails and things like that because of the crossover to the other video games and whatnot. But I do have to say, and this is not a knock to Sonic. If I'm upsetting anybody, I apologize. I was never the biggest Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Yes, I played a video game. I liked it. You know what I mean? But as far as cartoons go, I was a bigger fan of the Super Mario Brother cartoon.
Yep.
So as far and again, I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I'm only a guest.
You're good.
But I'd give the characters a 7. A solid 7.
I mean, Eric, we'll let you go next. I think the only one that would get mad at him would be Liz.
Well, my apologies to Liz.
Yeah, she'll take it out on me. Don't worry about it. But she gives the Ninja Turtle characters an 8. But Eric, you go next on Sonic Saturday AM.
I thought the characters were pretty solid. I give it an 8.5. I like all the characters.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sonic is awesome.
So, all right, so I'm going to take some heat off Archie.
Okay. I appreciate it.
No problem. As far as character development, as far as like the characters go, Sonic to me was just like, I don't know why Sally didn't have him beheaded. I mean, she's a princess. And for as many times as that blue goof basically told her, all right, you could, I mean, he didn't actually like say it to her because he kind of had a crush on her. But as many times as he basically kind of spit in her authority and basically said, you can take your crown and shove it. I do what I want. I got to give the characters by the way, my favorite character in the show was actually Bunny Rabbit, the half bunny, half robot.
Okay.
Because to me, she just seemed like, she could kick a lot of tail. I try not to swear on the show. Doesn't really work out that way, but I try not to. But so I'm going to give the characters of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm only giving them, and again, it's my opinion, I'm giving them a 4.
Ooh.
So,
I thought my 6 was bad. Okay.
But, yeah. So, all right. All right. So we'll jump right into the Simpsons, Arch.
I got to give the Simpsons a 10 for character development. They have grown as a family. They add new characters every season. You know what I mean? Who among us didn't love when Homer found his estranged brother Herb? You know, you know what I mean? And you get certain episodes like that one where they did a Pulp Fiction episode and everything like that, where you get to learn about the side characters. It's not just about the core part of the show. So I give them a 10.
Yeah. Eric, go ahead.
10. Absolutely a 10. Most of 90% of the characters are iconic.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not Hans Moleman, but maybe.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree as well. I'm gonna give it a 10 and you have so many characters really to look at. Like there's quite the assortment and they all serve their purpose.
Yep.
I mean, Sideshow Bob, inspired a lot of hairstyles for Christ's sake.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yeah.
Homer Simpson.
Every day, or not, or maybe not every day, but at least once or twice a week, I see somebody with a Sideshow.
I rock the Homer Simpson hairdo all day long.
And you look good, Arch.
Sorry, Doug.
But yeah, so I'm definitely giving the characters in Simpsons a 10. All right, to finish out the category, Captain Planet. Arch, go ahead.
They had their moments. You learned about each kid on every episode. You learned about their past. You learned why Captain Planet became who he did. So they did a fantastic job of teaching you. You know what I mean? That was the good thing about each character too. Each one had a purpose to teach you something. Us as children watching it, why not? Why you shouldn't litter? Why you shouldn't do this? Why you shouldn't start fires? Why you should? You know what I mean? So me being like 6 or 7 years old when this show was on, it did teach me a lot. So character definitely deserve a 10 in my opinion when it comes to Captain Planet.
Okay, Eric.
I give it an 8.5. I thought the characters were pretty good.
Yeah. You know what? Even though some of the characters did annoy me, I think with the development of some of them, because they did have time to develop. The development was good, and you did learn stuff about each kid. I think Wheeler was a little too full of himself.
Oh, of course.
Which kind of bothers me because he was the only American member of the Planeteers.
Right.
So it kind of bothers me a little bit that he was the jerk. But but be that as it may, which characters on what show, Mark?
American pretty well. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny, Liz.
But as far as the characters on Captain Planet, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give them an 8.
Okay.
Right. So next category, we're going to episodes and storylines. So you can bring up whatever episodes you want that you remember or specific storylines. But Arch, in that category, like, how do you rate TMNT?
Well, that's the thing with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They followed the basic storyline, which was good. I'm not knocking it for being basic. They followed the storyline. You know what I mean? With the introduction of Rocksteady and Bebop, and Casey Jones. They followed pretty much every timeline the movie set out as well. So half the time when there wasn't a new movie coming out for them, if you were watching the cartoon show, you still felt like you were informed and you knew what was going on. So I don't have a specific episode because I actually haven't watched the Ninja Turtle cartoon in quite some time. I don't remember the last time I caught an episode of it. I will have to start checking it out again, though. If you mentioned it's on YouTube. But I would definitely say, as far as episodes go and longevity and the way that they painted everything out for us, I'd give it a solid 10.
Okay. Eric, go ahead.
From when I watched the first 4 episodes when I watched, I liked it, and I thought the storylines were pretty good, introducing April to the Ninja Turtles and all that.
Yeah.
So I give it a solid 10.
Okay. So not only are they on YouTube, Arts, but also you can find them like the first 4 seasons on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
And then they have their own live channel on Amazon Prime Video.
Excellent.
Right,
well, then I have all that, so I have it at my fingertips to watch.
Yeah. So there was a specific episode that I watched on Amazon Prime, and it actually had to do with they went to Atlantis.
Okay.
Because Michelangelo found I can't remember the guy's name offhand because it's a long name, but Michelangelo called him Murdude. And by the way, he has a figure, by the way.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
And so they found him and they took him back to Atlantis, and Bebop somehow became the king of Atlantis.
Oh my God.
And Shredder wanted like this pearl or something like that. And so he's like, all right, Bebop, you got to get them to. And Bebop was trying to get Shredder to respect him. And he's like, you got to do what I say. I'm the king, Shredhead. And then Shredder got him to, to fold real quick when he's like, Krang, set Bebop's room on fire. So Bebop folded real quick. But as far as like that episode, and again, I watched the first 5 episodes, season 1 today, and like all the episodes, they do a really good job in the storyline development because there was one episode where Donatello was working on the Neutrino's car that they had left him or something like that. And they always do bring up like stuff that happened in past episodes.
Yep.
It's usually Raphael breaking the fourth wall and saying, "No, what do you kids at home think of this?"
Yep.
So I'm giving the storylines in the episodes a solid 10 myself. All right, Arch, let's jump right into Sonic Saturday AM. Scale of 1 to 10.
I had no issue with the cartoon. With the storylines were good. They kept right in with the video game. And I have not watched it since it was on Saturday morning cartoons, which was quite a long time ago. You wake up Saturday morning now and there's nothing on but news and cook shows. But Sonic, I'd give it a solid 9 for episodes and storylines.
Okay, Eric.
Sonic, I give an 8. I thought the storylines were good. Not every episode intrigued me, but most of them did.
Yeah. From the episodes that I have watched, and like just stuff that I remember, I'm gonna give it an 8 myself. Because again, like I used to get up in the morning and watch them on Saturday mornings too. Chat room, you can go ahead and weigh in as well. You've been quiet for the last 6 minutes, which kind of scares me. But feel free to weigh in, agree or disagree. I would give it I would give them a solid 8. And let's jump right into the Simpsons, Arch.
One of my favorite series with the Simpsons, as far as episodes go, are the Halloween Treehouse of Horrors.
Oh, those are great.
Every year. I wait for it every year, and they never disappoint either. I mentioned Homer finding his brother as an episode. You know what I mean, and having an estranged brother. Of course, all the ones when his mom would pop back into his life. You know what I mean? Episodes like that are still iconic to me. I watch them constantly because of Disney Plus. You can put on any episode you want. By far, though, my favorite episode of The Simpsons is when Homer gains weight to work from home. And he's wearing a muumuu and a hat, and, he's got the little bird feeder doing his work for him on the computer. And he puts on his cape, and Bart looks at him and he said, "I thought you promised Mom you wouldn't wear your woman's dress out of the house." And he's like, "I need to get out of this house." And he just walks out. It's just like, wow. So I give The Simpsons a 10 for episodes and storylines. They always have a new storyline not recently, the last couple seasons. Liz said it best in the chat. They've been a little generic, but they still have episodes that I could watch to this day and laugh from.
Right. Eric, go ahead.
Simpsons, I give it a 10. I don't think there's any bad episode I ever watched though. The one I watched was the one that they went on vacation in resort and they got kicked out, and you saw Psycho Bob there.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good episode.
Yeah. So one of the episodes I watched today is actually when it was revealed that Mr. Burns had a son.
And it was Rodney Dangerfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Because he's doing his Rodney Dangerfield routine as a Simpsons character.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So just for that and a couple other episodes that I watched, I'm going to give it, and Kenny just said a 10 as well. I'm gonna give the episodes a 10.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I agree. You know, when they would do a guest spot or bring on a celebrity, and Bret Hart being on it is hysterical. Oh, this house smells like old man. You know what I mean? And well, there's other wrestlers in the neighborhood. The Shrieking Sheik is down the block, and it's like, wow, they couldn't even get another wrestler. It's just the Shrieking Sheik. So yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah. All right. So let's finish out the category. Captain Planet.
I mean, once you got past the first 5 or 6 episodes, the storyline was the same. Big Bad Chemical Company tries to, poison the world, and Captain Planet and the Planeteers go and save them. You know what I mean? Or, I'm not saying the bad guy should have ever won, but at least he could have had a challenge. You know what I mean? So I'd have to give it maybe a 4.
Okay.
And that's being generous because, like I said, once you got past the first season, and it just became the same episode except different company or a different thread.
Right. All right, Eric.
From what I watched, I only watched a few episodes, so I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
If I
I'm gonna
watched more, it would have been more closer to maybe down, but I don't know. I'm
only gonna give it a 5. Because again, like Archie said, like it's the same thing. Company comes in, or the bad guys come in, like either the kids get captured or they get their way for about 10 minutes, and then Captain Planet comes in, saves the day. It's the same thing. And to be honest with you, the episodes I watched today I was kind of bored by. So
right. It's not a go back and watch type of cartoon. If you catch it, you'll watch it for a few minutes because you want to feel like you're a kid again, but then you'll change the channel and put up something else.
Yeah,
right.
I've never watched it before until this week, so that's probably why
I give it. Yeah, I get it.
All right, so we got one more category. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna breeze right through it because we got 7 minutes. So humor and entertainment value, TMNT. Archie, we're gonna start with you.
Humor was always the Turtles', high spot. They always knew how to crack a joke, and the great part about them, even though it was a kid's cartoon, they would still push the envelope a little bit. So I'd have to give them a solid 10. I mean, they were a great all-around cartoon. So they definitely made me laugh.
Yeah. Eric, I'm going to go next on this one. I'm also going to give it a 10. The entertainment value, especially like coming from Michelangelo and Raphael, and even Bebop and Rocksteady.
Right.
So, I'm giving it a solid 10 myself. Eric, go ahead.
Sweep it. Give it a solid 10. I was very entertained by this.
Yeah. All right. Sonic Saturday AM. Archie, you're up.
Again, my apologies to Liz or anybody else who is going to be listening and is a big fan. It was somewhat funny, but it was not really. That wasn't its strong suit. That wasn't what it was looking for. It was looking to be a comedy. I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Eric, I'll let you go next.
I'll give it an 8. I was still entertained by the episodes I watched.
You just don't want Liz to kick you down below.
I mean, I only watched a few episodes, so I didn't watch probably not enough to give it a.
Yeah. To be honest with you, like as far as like entertainment, nothing to this. Like it's action packed and it's like the video games. So I'm gonna give it, and she said no offense meant, but she's she's not gonna like this. I'm giving it a 3 as far as humor and entertainment value go. So I'm probably getting in trouble, but such is life. But all right, Simpsons humor and entertainment value. Archie, go ahead.
10 across the board. Like I said, I laugh from these episodes still to this day. There's an episode where Homer sits in the kitchen while Sideshow Bob is glued to the ceiling, and he proceeds to eat 64 slices of individually wrapped American cheese.
Oh, jeez.
And then Marge walks in on him and says, "Did you stay up eating your cheese again?" And again, he does this all the time. You know what I mean? So there's just, and then the one my granddaughter Winter just said, the one where he ate himself, which was a Halloween horrors, a treehouse of horrors, because he was made out of donut. You know what I mean? So it's just little things like that make me laugh. So yes, he ate his finger. It's just Homer is basically 80% of the comedy on the show.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely. Eric, go ahead.
I give it a 10. I was never bored with an episode of The Simpsons.
You know what? Neither was I. So, and this is going to be something. It's going to come neck and neck to Ninja Turtles and The Simpsons, I believe, because I'm also giving this a 10 as far as humor and entertainment value. Like, they are entertaining, and Homer is the most entertaining character on the show. Although I do like Moe and Chief Wiggum.
Oh yeah, Mo is great. Ralph Wiggum
that's why he's still on today.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it too, guys, it's very family oriented. Like I said, I let Winter watch it, but on the other hand, I won't let Winter sit down and watch Family Guy or American Dad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they make way too many crazy comments there that I don't want her accent. Hey, what does that mean? I don't have to do that with The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So it's good, fun comedy.
And that's why it's still on today.
Yep.
It's that iconic.
I think, what is it, at its 34th season?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Arch, start us off on Captain Planet.
Comedy-wise, I don't know. I never really found it funny. I can't say that it was, a majority of the episode was doom and gloom because is the world about to come to an end? And then a case that Captain Planet saved the day. That was it. I hate to be such a harsh critic, but I give it a 2 on the comedy level.
Yeah. I would actually give it a 3 on the comedy level.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Eric, go ahead.
I was entertained by it, so I give it an 8. But again, I only watched a certain amount of episodes, so.
Right. If you get deeper in it, you'll be like, okay, this is not funny at all, but at least I'm watching it. You know what I mean? It's something to watch.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead. We got about a minute and a half until Saturday night's main event comes on. So very quick. Altogether, the scores are, we have Ninja Turtles altogether with a score of 158. Sonic, let's see, we all 20 and a half on the theme song. Animation quality came in at 19 and a half, so that would be 40. 15 and a half, 19, so 59 and a half, and then 17, 22, so that would be 81 and a half.
Wow.
And then 87, 95. So Sonic Saturday M gets a 98. So Ninja Turtles still in the lead there. So 30 for the Simpsons and theme song. 1929. So 59. Then another 30 there. 89. And then 80. And then 59. 59. 89. 159. Simpsons is gonna win it. I'm coming.
You said he'd be there. You
Yeah.
said he'd be there.
I'm not surprised.
Simpsons is gonna win it. Captain Planet doesn't even come close.
I gave Simpsons 10 all across the board.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
why
I
he
think
won.
I think I only gave them 1-9.
Yeah, so did I. So, all right, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Bye,
in.
Liz.
I
Bye,
appreciate
Mark.
it.
Bye, Kenny. Bye,
Yeah.
Archie.
Thanks for
Bye,
everybody in
everybody.
the chat room. Archie, thank you very much for being on.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Bye, Doug.
Simpsons wins it. They move on to the next round. We'll update everybody about next week's show
Yep.
probably later on.
Yep.
So,
Hopefully, we'll see you guys next week.
all right.
I'll definitely see you, Doug.
Yeah. All right. Later, guys.
Good night.
Later.
Later. Enjoy the show.
Yep.
Take care of the shorts, please, Eric.
You got it.